Hello, everyone, welcome to Physics Time. In this video, we give a detailed solution of Physics First Terminal Examination for Kerala Higher Secondary, Class 12, conducted on August 2025. We start with Section 1, where we discuss 1-mark questions. Here is the first question. Name the property of total charge of a body as an integral multiple of a basic charge. Answer is quantization of charge. Let me explain in detail. There's a fundamental, smallest unit of charge called the elementary charge, symbolized by A. This is the charge carried by a single proton, positive charge, or a single electron, negative charge. Its value is incredibly small, about 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. Any total electric charge, Q, you find on an object will always be a whole number multiple of this elementary charge, A. You'll never find an object with, say, 1.5 times the elementary charge. It must be 1 times, 2 times, 3 times, etc. This relationship is expressed by the equation as Q equals plus or minus n times E, where n is an integer takes values 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., and value of E is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. Let's move to second question. The electric flux through a closed surface enclosing an electric dipole is. That's a simple one. Answer is 0. Explanation. It can be explained using Gauss's law in electrostatics. It states that the total electric flux through any closed surface, known as Gaussian surface, is proportional to the total electric charge enclosed within that surface, divided by the permittivity of free space. Mathematical expression is phi equal to Q enclosed divided by epsilon 0. Hence, the electric flux depends on net charge inside. As we know, electric dipole is an arrangement of a positive charge and negative charge, with equal amount, together, its total charge is 0. So, if we consider an electric dipole inside a Gaussian surface, net charge inside is 0. And hence, net electric flux is also 0. Here is the third question. Relative permittivity of a good conductor is it 0 or infinity? Answer is infinity. Explanation. In a good conductor, free charges move to cancel out any electric field within the material. Since the electric field inside a conductor is 0, the dielectric constant, which is the ratio of the applied field to the reduced field, becomes infinite. Question 4. In a charged capacitor, energy is stored in. Options are 1. Positively charged plate. 2. Negatively charged plate. 3. Electric field between the plates. 4. None of these. Answer is option 3. Electric field between the plates. Explanation. The energy of a charged capacitor is stored in the form of electric potential energy. This energy is a direct consequence of the work done to move charge from one conductor to the other against the electrostatic forces, thereby creating a separation of charge. Question 5. A wire of resistance R and resistivity ρ is stretched to 5 times its original length. Its resistivity will increase or decrease or remain same. Be careful, that's a tricky question. Answer is, resistivity will remains the same. Allow me to explain. We know the resistance of a conductor of length L and area of cross-section A and resistivity ρ is R equal to ρ into L divided by A, but resistivity is material's property. It doesn't change with dimensions like length or area. So, even though wire stretches, its resistivity will remain same. Question 6. This question is also based on resistivity. Give the SI unit of resistivity. Answer is ohm, meter. As we explained in the previous question, resistance R is equal to resistivity ρ into length of the conductor divided by area of cross-section A. Therefore, resistivity ρ equal to resistance R into area A divided by length L, putting SI unit of each quantities, for resistance, ohm. For area, meter squared. For length, meter. Then, SI unit of resistivity is ohm meter. Now, let's go into last question in this section. Question 7. A proton is moving along x-axis with a uniform speed, enters in a region of uniform magnetic field applied along y-axis. Then the trajectory of proton will be. Options are A. Circular, B. Elliptical, C. Helical, D. Straight line. Answer is option A. Circular. Here, we need to use concept of magnetic Lorentz force. Particle, considered here as proton. Its charge Q equal to plus A. Proton moves along x-axis, then its velocity v vector equal to vx I cap. There is a uniform magnetic field along y direction. B vector equal to by j cap. Lorentz force is given by F vector equal to charge q into v vector cross b vector. Substituting the values, we get F vector equal to plus a into vx I cap cross by j cap. But we know I cap cross j cap is k cap. So, F vector equal to plus a vx by k cap. That is, force acts along positive z direction. Since force and velocity are perpendicular, this force will provide centripetal force, hence particle executes circular motion. That's end of 1 mark section. So, students, are you ready to move on to next section, where we solve 2 mark questions. The first question from section 2. Let me read question 8. Write 4 properties of electric field lines. Answer is, 4 properties of electric field lines are 1. Electric field lines originate from positive charges and terminate on negative charges. 2. The tangent to an electric field line at any point gives the direction of the electric field at that point. 3. No 2 electric field lines can intersect each other. If they did, it would mean that at the point of intersection, there would be 2 possible directions for the electric field, which is physically impossible. 4. The density of electric field lines, that is, the number of lines per unit area perpendicular to the lines, is proportional to the magnitude of the electric field. Where the lines are closer together, the field is stronger, and where they are farther apart, the field is weaker. Question 9 has 2 parts. A. Calculate the flux passing through a sphere of radius 10 cm enclosing a charge of 8.85 microcoulomb. B. What is the flux if radius is increased to 20 cm? Answer. In the question A, radius of sphere is 10 cm and charge enclosed is 8.85 microcoulomb. According to Gauss's law in electrostatics, flux through the sphere is given by electric flux phi equals q enclosed divided by epsilon 0. Now, let's substitute the values. Q enclosed equal to 8.85 microcoulomb, which can be written as 8.85 into 10 raised to minus 6, and value of epsilon 0 is 8.85 into 10 raised to minus 12. So answer is 10 raised to 6 Newton meter squared coulomb raised to minus 1. Answer for B is, electric flux does not depend on the size of the Gaussian surface, in this case size of sphere. Electric flux depends only on the charge enclosed and medium. As long as the same charge is inside the sphere, electric flux through it will not change. Hence, electric flux remains same. That is 10 raised to 6 Newton meter squared coulomb raised to minus 1. Question 10. Give 2 properties of equipotential surface. Answer is 1. Equipotential surfaces are always perpendicular to the electric field lines. 2. No work is done in moving a test charge along an equipotential surface. Question 11. It's a simple and direct question. State Ohm's law. Write 1 limitation. Ohm's law states that the current through a conductor is directly proportional to the voltage across its ends and inversely proportional to its resistance, provided that the temperature and other physical conditions remain constant. Mathematically, voltage V is directly proportional to electric current I, hence V equals I into R, where R is known as resistance of the conductor. Limitation of Ohm's law. Ohm's law is applicable only to materials where the voltage-current relationship is linear, meaning the resistance is constant. Semiconductors, like silicon and germanium, incandescent bulbs, and components with nonlinear behavior, like capacitors, do not follow this rule and are therefore non-ohmic. Question 12. This has 2 questions of 1 mark each. A. Write any one difference between polar and non-polar molecule. B. Give 1 example each for polar and non-polar molecule. Answer is, polar molecules possess a net dipole moment due to the unequal sharing of electrons between atoms, resulting in a separation of positive and negative charges. In contrast, non-polar molecules have either no polar bonds or their bond dipoles cancel each other out, leading to a zero net dipole moment. An example of a polar molecule is water, H2O. An example of a non-polar molecule is carbon dioxide, CO2. Question 13. Define mobility. What is its dimensional formula? Answer is, electron mobility is the drift velocity an electron acquires in a material per unit of applied electric field. Mathematically, mobility, mu equal to drift velocity Vd divided by electric field E. The SI unit for mobility is meters squared per watt second. For finding dimensional formula for mobility, we need to know dimensional formula for electric field. A equals force F by charge Q. Dimensional formula for F is mLT raised to minus 2. Dimensional formula for charge is AT, hence, dimensional formula for electric field is mLT raised to minus 3A raised to minus 1. Now, dimensional formula of mobility mu equal to drift velocity by electric field. Dimensional formula of drift velocity is LT raised to minus 1. And dimensional formula for E is mLT raised to minus 3A raised to minus 1. Hence, final answer is m raised to minus 1 L raised to 0 T raised to 2A. Question 14. A galvanometer of resistance 12 ohms shows full-scale deflection for a current of 3 mA. How will you convert the meter into a voltmeter of range 0-18 volts? Answer. Here, we consider a galvanometer of resistance 12 ohm. Its full-scale deflection current is 3 mA. Question asked is, how to convert this galvanometer to a voltmeter that can measure a maximum voltage up to 18 volt. For this, we need to connect a high resistance R in series with galvanometer. Since the connection is series, same current Ig flows through high resistance R also. Hence, current flowing through series combination of R and G is Ig equals voltage V divided by R plus G. Therefore, R equal to V divided by IgG. Substituting the values, V equals 18 volt current Ig 3 into 10 raised to minus 3. Minus 12 equal to 6000 minus 12. Final answer is 5988. Hence, to convert the galvanometer into a voltmeter of range 0 to 18 volt, we should connect a resistance of 5988 ohm in series with galvanometer. Thanks for watching. Subscribe our channel, Physics Time, for more videos.